Hey, how's it going? So we found a new car for the stepdaughter, and it was through network. We didn't have to go through Facebook or any of that stuff. I put the word out, and then you guys responded. And my friend Gary told me about his friend Chris was selling a car, and it was right in our price range of $1,500. So here it is. An '07 Honda Accord, 4-door, 4-cylinder, 5-speed. Hang on. Sorry, I gotta do this all vlog style, guys, but we're trying to make it quick so we can get back to working. Hey, those are the wrong keys. Trying to make it quick so we can get back to work in the garage, because that's what we're actually going to do this week. Here we go. All right, let's pop her open here. No, I don't know. One of those supposedly unlocks the door, right? All right, so here it is. It's in decent shape. You know, you got the little twixt the legs dirt there, but it's not ripped up or torn up or anything like that. The backs looks good. I haven't tried power locks. I'm sure they work. But yeah, this was a pretty nice piece when it was new. And it's got a sunroof. Tires are actually good, but they're old, so they're a little hard, a little noisy on the freeway. So far, the only thing we found that doesn't work on it is the air conditioning. You can see there, it's a 5-speed. Luckily, my stepdaughter knows how to drive a stick, which is really cool. A lot of youngins don't, especially girls, so that's awesome. So anyway, this thing's clean, man. It really is. So thanks again, Gary, and thanks again, Chris, for coming through for us, because this is a good car. Now, a lot of you might be wondering, how's she run? What's wrong with it? Why was it $1,500? Well, pretty much just this stuff, which is nothing. But let's have a look at her. Oh, it's down here. All right, so there we go. Leave those down there for a minute. All right, let's have a look at it. So this particular model, like I said, it's the 4-cylinder 5-speed, which is really cool. The Accord being the bigger car, usually would have a V6 and an automatic in it. So it's really cool to find a 4-cylinder 5-speed, because that means this thing's probably going to get some great mileage. But anyway, let me do the hood prop real quick. Be right back. All right, so there it is. So I looked at the oil. It doesn't look like it's been changed recently, which is a good sign. But it also doesn't look filthy, which is another good sign. Hey, you're supposed to focus right there. Come on, you can do it. Maybe you can't. Anyway, it's brown, not black, which supports the story that this thing's always been serviced properly. Gary, the guy that told me about this car, is a local repair shop, and with a great reputation as being an honest and fair guy. And this was one of his clients' cars. But anyway, there it is. Let's get this thing fired up so you guys can hear it run. All right, so that was a cold start. Gotta say, it runs pretty smooth. It has a check engine light. The code shows an O2 sensor, but it's been like that for years, according to the mechanic. Nobody's ever bothered fixing it, and the car seems to run just fine, so I'll be fixing that. I'll probably be cleaning up these headlights and or replacing them. Probably cleaning them up. And then I'll probably do something with the clear coat missing up here, just like we did on the S10 when we were driving it around. But other than that, she's probably good to go. So if you're wondering why this was a $1,500 car when it's obviously pretty nice, and I'm telling you right now, from driving it home, this thing drives perfect. There's nothing wrong with this car other than the air conditioner doesn't work. So, let's see. If we look right there, where it says oil life 15%, we can reset that, and what happens then is, does that say it has 500,000 miles on it? Yes, it does. So, okay, here's the thing about high mileage cars for me. Anything with like 200,000 miles on it or more that a lot of people would be scared of, I'm not. And that's because for a vehicle to make it to 200,000 miles, two things have to happen. One, it has to be well built. If it was put together by some guy who had the flu or something and didn't care on a Friday, an hour before it was time to go home, maybe the car's not straight or put together right. That's important. So car's obviously been put together right if it's still around after a couple 100,000 miles. And secondly, it's probably been taken care of. They probably did the oil changes. Whenever something would break, they would fix it. It's almost like a golden rule with cars that I don't always follow myself, which is when anything breaks, you fix it right away. Otherwise, it ends up taking other things with it, you know. So a very well-maintained car will get you that high mileage. So if either one of those things weren't true, the car wouldn't have 200 and something thousand miles on it. So this one has 500, which is insanity. I don't know if I've ever seen a car in person since the old Toyota ads anyway, with a 500,000 miles on it that didn't have a diesel in it. Now we know the maintenance history on this vehicle because my friend, the mechanic that recommended this car, has been servicing it since it was a low mileage vehicle. It was owned by an insurance adjuster. He drove the wheels off it, driving it all over the United States. He likes driving, and they gave him the choice, company car or airplane, and he decided to drive everywhere. So he was religious about the oil changes and religious about the service intervals and fixed anything that came up. As soon as it came up, according to Gary, the only thing this thing's really ever had was a clutch. And even though it's 500,000 miles, it's only had one clutch. And he said the only reason it had a clutch was for the reason that I wanted to get into with high mileage vehicles. And that is there was a structural failure. See, the problem with something that's got 500,000 miles in it isn't that the engine might go or the brakes need changing or the shocks are bad. All that stuff can be fixed. You can just buy parts, replace them. Easy. That's just regular routine maintenance. What happens though with a vehicle with that many miles on it is metal fatigue. You have to worry about things like where the suspension components are bolted to the body. That stuff moving around just ever so slightly year after year, mile after mile, you know, 500,000 miles later, you can get some pretty good play in some stuff and you can start tearing sheet metal structure on the unibody and things like that. You can start having holes oval out. You can have all kinds of weird stuff happen from metal fatigue. So that's the kind of thing you have to watch for. And this car experienced it. Like I think I just told you a second ago. Thinking too far ahead. But the thing is, this car has experienced metal fatigue. It's had the clutch pedal where it attaches to the firewall, where the assembly attaches to the firewall, had popped loose. And so the pedal was popping every time they depressed it. It would make the firewall pop, basically. And one of the spot welds was snapping back and forth. So it got a new clutch when he took it in for that problem, because rather than figuring out what it actually was, they just told him he needed a clutch, sold him a clutch, and then on the way home, the first time he pushed the clutch pedal in, it popped again. He took it right back, made them eat the clutch. So it's got a new clutch that he didn't pay for, and then they had to send it out to the body shop or whatever to get that all welded back together around the firewall. But it's been fine ever since. That was at like 300,000, I think he said. So that's the kind of stuff I got to worry about. It's metal fatiguing, but other than that, it's just replace things if they need it and do the maintenance. So we're going to do that. It's amazing to me. I can't wait to see if that thing can do 600,000. It makes me want to kind of just hop in it and drive it everywhere. Maybe I should do a YouTube road trip, come visit a bunch of you other YouTubers out there and like do a big loop around the US and do it in that old thing. That might be fun. Anyway, now I'm blabbing. So now we can finally get back to working on our stuff here in the garage. And I hope I didn't sound like I was complaining and griping in that last video where I said, you know, I had a bunch of family stuff to deal with. I mean, it's just life. You have to deal with it. But I was watching it later myself, and I was just really tired and exhausted when I made that video. So it might look like I was grumpy. So sorry. Wasn't trying to be grumpy or ask for, like, you know, sympathy. I'm just saying I've been busy. So anyway, we're done with that. I've gotten some rest. I feel much better. And now we can start working on this. There'll be a couple more videos coming out here shortly. Video on this guy here and a video dealing with moving forward on this. I really want to make some progress on this thing. It's been sitting here too long as a mock-up. Yes, I'd like to have most of the parts before I start doing any work. That way, if I have any questions about fitment, I've got the parts and I can just take measurements. But not 100% sure what I want to do with the frame still, believe it or not. I know. We'll figure it out. But I can go ahead and get the rear diff done because I know what we're going to do there. We got our brake solutions and all that, so watch for a video on that. So thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share, and we will see you in the next one. Until then, take care of yourself.